will always be a way. This included increased funding of the Universal Basic Education Commission to a tune of about 1.5 billion naira annually, the establishment of Almajiri mega schools, the creation of contributory health scheme, the upgrading of hospitals in the headquarters of 4 emirates, and the establishment of a modern cancer treatment center. There are many more, which because of lack of space and time, I will not list here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if you are still asking that question, how do we foster development and nation building in an atmosphere of insecurity? Then get ready for the answer from Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, OFR. While congratulating the University of Ibadan alumni worldwide body for their wisdom, for their discretion in choosing a timely topic and a fit speaker, and while warmly welcoming Governor Ganduje back to his alma mater, I invite you to sit back and let us learn how to build our nation with solid materials from generations to come, despite the challenges of insecurity. I thank you all.
Please let's make it bigger for the Vice Chancellor of the first and the best university in Nigeria. I'd like to invite Mr. Vin Okonkwo to come and read the citation of the alumni lecturer, His Excellency, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje.
Let me quickly put into practice the brief lecture delivered by the able Chancellor, Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan before his speech by saying that I lean on existing protocol. Having said that, this is a citation of His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, Executive Governor of Kano State, Nigeria. It has been noted that success is no accident, because true success is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, it is the love of what a man does and is learning to do always. This statement captures the essence of the life and service of His Excellency, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, the Executive Governor of Kano State. Once upon the very last Sunday of the year 1949, on December 25, to be precise, Abdullahi was born in the village of Ganduje, located in the present-day Dawakin Tofa local government area of Kano State. By the standard of the time, education was early for the young Abdullahi Umar. He was enrolled in a Quranic and Islamia school where he was trained in Islamic knowledge. Before his 7th birthday, he began primary education at Dawakin Tufa Primary School from 1956 to 1963. In 1964, young Ganduje gained admission into Government College, Birnin Kudu, and graduated in flying colors in 1968. There was no waiting for the young scholar in his quest for prime education. In 1969, he attended Advanced Teachers College, Kano, and completed his studies in 1972 and got immediate admission into the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, Kaduna State. In 1975, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje graduated with a Bachelor in Science Education. After the completion of the mandatory National Youth Service NYSC scheme in 1975 at Ole College in the old Bendel and present-day Delta states in the South-South, Abdullahi Ganduje was employed by the Kano State Ministry of Education as education officer and later moved to Advanced Teachers College, ATC Gumel, as lecturer 1 in educational psychology, and to Bayero University, Kano, BUK, in 1978 as lecturer 1. Again, he went further for postgraduate studies, and by 1979, he obtained a master's degree in applied educational psychology from Bayero University, Kano. After a 5-year stint in the public sector, Ganduje joined the private sector, where he worked with Nomit Limited, Kano, as personnel manager from 1979 to 1981. Then in 1981, he joined the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, as administrative officer. In 1984, Ganduje returned to his alma mater, ABU, where he bagged the Masters of Public Administration degree a year after. At FCDA, he held various positions, including Development Secretary, Kwali Development Area, Sole Administrator, Abaji Area Council, Chairman, Gwagwalada Council, and Executive Secretary, Federal Capital Territory Resettlement and Compensation. He rose to the position of Director, Planning, Research, and Statistics in 1993. A man of strong will, grit, and determination, Ganduje sought prime education and migrated to Nigeria's premier university, University of Ibadan, and registered for the doctoral program in public administration. In 1993, Ganduje got the Golden Prize, and he earned the academic title of doctor and through dint of hard work. Perhaps it can be said that next to politics and statesmanship, Governor Ganduje's other interest and gift is in the education sector. From Dawakin Tufa and Birnin Kudu through Zaria and Kano to Ibadan, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje has shown the stuff of his brilliance and commitment to academics and scholarship. In the field of politics, Governor Ganduje has displayed even more commitment, loyalty, and perseverance in his relations with fellow politicians and the electorates of his constituency. His journey into the political fray started in 1979 when he joined the defunct National Party of Nigeria, NPN, during the Second Nigerian Republic. It is on record that he was a principled party man. He did not cut corners, but rose through the ranks through exceptional service skills and astounding performances. First, he served as Assistant Secretary of Kano State MPN from 1979 to 1980. It was during this period that his qualities as a shrewd administrator and team player got to the attention of other political watchers and influencers. Ganduje's popularity was a matter of time and destiny. After putting in 17 years of service in the Federal Capital Territory, Dr. Ganduje resigned and was appointed Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Works, Housing and Transport, Kano State, from January 1994 to November 1998. This was indeed a landmark achievement during the early days of the young and the illustrious Ganduje. Like a colossal titan, since then, he has never rested on his oars, becoming one of the most popular and reputable politicians in contemporary Nigerian states. In 1998, Governor Ganduje joined the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and aspired to be the party's gubernatorial candidate. Although he did not get the slot in the party's primaries, Ganduje was later picked to serve as the deputy governor of Kano State from 1999 to 2003. In addition to that position, he was also appointed the commissioner for local government. After his tenure as deputy governor, Dr. Ganduje accepted to serve as the special advisor political to the Minister of Defense from 2003 to 2007. In 2014, Alhaji Ganduje was selected as the consensus gubernatorial candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, for Kano State. He went on to defeat the People's Democratic Party candidate, Malam Salihu Takai, with 1,546,434 votes against Takai's 509,726 votes in the 2015 governorship election. On 29 May 2015, he was inaugurated as the governor of Kano State, succeeding his political mentor, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. After 4 years of unprecedented service and impressionable achievements in Kano State, Governor Ganduje won re-election for a second term in 2019 and has remained the governor of one of Nigeria's promising states till date. In his career of service and leadership, Alhaji Ganduje has held other federal government appointments that included member, board of directors, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, chairman, governing council, Federal Polytechnic, Ade-Ekiti in 2008, and Executive Secretary, Lake Chad Basin Commission at N'Djamena, Chad Republic. He has been a recipient of numerous national and international awards, including the fastest growing state economy award by Business Day newspaper. Most outstanding award in the area of health and education by Telegraph newspaper. Award for excellent performance in governance by Radio, Television, Theater, and Arts Workers Union of Nigeria, RATAO, at its first National Merit Award, October 2016. Most teacher-friendly governor award by the National Union of Teachers, NUT, during 2017 World Teachers Day celebration. The best governor on curtailing drug abuse by Anti-Corruption and Research-Based Data Initiative. June 2017, Outstanding Performing Governor of the Year by the Nigerian Media Night Out Award, September 2017. Most Security Compliant Governor in Northern Nigeria by the Institute of Security and Strategic Studies, November 2018. Governor of the Year on Education, Creating Hope for the Physically Challenged and Infrastructure by Authority newspaper, 2018. Special awards on governance achievements by University of Ibadan, UI Alumni Global Network in the United Kingdom, July 2018. Most Performing Governor in Education Award by Al Kalam and Al Mansoura University, Egypt. And the Sun Governor of the Year Award 2020. Chairman of this great occasion, President worldwide of the University of Ibadan Alumni Association, gentlemen of the press, greatest whites, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for the 2022 Annual Alumni Lecture of the University of Ibadan Alumni Association. It is a great honor and privilege for me to present to you a seasoned politician, committed administrator, proud son of Ganduje, Agune Chamber of Igbo land, that Igbo award, translated to English, means the lion that defends the pride of the land. Holder of the National Honors Award of OFR, Officer of the Federal Republic, His Excellency, Governor Abdullahi Omar Ganduje, PhD, Public Administration, University of Ibadan, the Executive Governor of Kano State.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The chairman of the occasion, the Vice Chancellor, University of Ibadan, the best university in the country, in Africa. Her Royal Highness, the Emir of Kano, and the Chairman, Kano State Council of Emirs, the Pro Chancellor, my boss, and the former Governor of Edo State, the former Chairman of our great party, Chief Oyegun. I think I should maintain the existing protocol due to time factor. But I would say, peace be upon you all. You're most welcome to this historic and memorable occasion, whereby we discuss some issues pertaining to security and nation building for our great country, Nigeria. Coming back to this great institution has brought back warm-hearted memories of my days on this campus over the 3 decades ago, shuttling between Abuja and Ibadan in pursuance of my doctorate degree here at UI. I feel greatly honored to have been given this opportunity to make this presentation on the occasion of the 2022 alumni lecture put together by the University of Ibadan Alumni Association worldwide. I thank the President. Let me thank the organizers for working tirelessly up to this day. It is really a wonderful job, and for the choice of the topic that seeks to discuss one of the burning issues that take the center stage in Nigeria's scheme of things. The issue of security has also been affecting its development efforts in recent times. Sorry for the interruption. Another ceremony.
Excellency, sorry for that interruption. Before you give your lecture, because you're an alumnus of this university, we want to decorate you with a muffler which indicates the alumnus of this university. I want to call on one of our past presidents, Mr. Hyacinth Kiagba, who is seated here to assist in decorating him with his muffler.
Excellency, sir.
I hold one side.
Yeah. You welcome. You are.
You can continue with the lecture, sir. You are fully decorated as an alumnus. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, the President worldwide. I didn't know that I was partially naked, but I'm happy now I'm fully dressed. So back to the issues. The theme of this lecture, challenges of security and nation building, is relevant and important in the current events when Nigeria has been persistently experiencing security problems. My understanding of the topic of this discussion is that it is an attempt to look into issues of national security as they affect efforts at building a virile and strong nation through the employment of contemporary approaches in dealing with these challenges. I realize that everybody here is a stakeholder. And since this lecture brings together members of the university community, scholars, analysts, and students to deal with this subject of national importance, I believe with their presence here, I have a very simple task at this moment. Challenges of national security. Nigeria faces a range of security challenges, including Boko Haram, terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, drug trafficking, cybercrime, robberies, weapons proliferation, human trafficking, communal clashes, and ethnic nationalism, militancy, manipulation of social media and hate speeches, economic and financial crimes, subversive activities, harassment, farmers' clashes, youth unemployment, piracy, among many others. If I continue for the next few hours, I will still be mentioning them. This explosive situation has shown that the country is more at risk from inside than from outside or any foreign aggression. The challenge has made national security threat to be a major issue for the government and has prompted a huge allocation of the national budget to security. As the key cause of Nigeria's insecurity, political and religious disparities, intolerance, mismanagement of resources, subversion, sabotage, armed robbery, and other sorts of lawlessness can all be traced and established. Other factors include, but are not limited to, unemployment and poverty, high rates of illiteracy among Nigerians, ethnic and religious divisions, and the consequences of corruption and unethical behavior. Therefore, effects and the consequences of the insecurity saga are not uncommon. The immediate results are destruction with massacres and widespread losses of human capital. Also, insecurity has hampered the movement of goods, services, and persons across the country, with implications for agriculture, agro-allied services, trade and commerce, especially in affected areas, transportation and logistics sector, hospitality and allied investments, education, construction, and real estate have been severely impacted by the crisis. Houses, farmlands and crops, livestock, among other things, have been destroyed. These actions have resulted in the allocation of scarce human, material, and financial capital to resolve such issues. Calls for separation in Nigeria has also been added to the list of insecurity, as secessionist violence have all increased in the country, particularly in the southeast geopolitical zone. For society to achieve human security, these interrelated and reinforcing challenges must be collectively and decisively addressed. The underlying notion is that such a society must be free from fear of occurrence of violent conflicts and prevalent criminality. Under the Nigerian Constitution, the primary responsibility of government is to provide security to life and property. However, no government can do it alone. The civil population has a complementary and crucial role to play. Just as crimes are interconnected and strengthen each other, collaborative actions are essential for countering such threats. Major threats to Nigeria's security. As I mentioned earlier, security is presently a major challenge in Nigeria. More people are getting into crimes in a more ruthless, desperate, and sophisticated manner, with many cases of crimes reported on a daily basis. One of the major challenges, insurgency, particularly in the Northeast by terrorists of Boko Haram, involves bombing, suicide, bomb attacks, sporadic shooting of unarmed and innocent citizens, burning of police stations, banks, markets, churches, motor parks, correctional centers, etc. It is worth noting, however, that the administration of President Muhammad Buhari overwhelmingly reduced the insurgents to attacking soft targets, while the Boko Haram fighters have since retreated to the Sambisa forest, though where the Nigerian military has pursued it, freeing hundreds of captives and taking down most of the group's leadership. The sect remains a serious security challenge, particularly in Borno State. In recent months, a splinter faction allied to the Islamic State, that is ISIS group, called the Islamic State's West African Province, ISWAP, has surpassed Boko Haram in size and capacity. It now ranks among ISIS' most active affiliates in the region. Populations in the Northwest are facing ever-increasing threat of banditry, a type of organized crime that includes kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, rape, cattle rustling, and the exploitation of environmental resources. This makes it a central security challenge to the region that has terrorized communities, killed and displaced thousands, hindered socioeconomic development, and threatened democratic governance. The bandits use the public horror and political pressures from school kidnappings and high-profile individuals or their families to attract more lucrative payoffs. And by every indication, Nigeria's money-spending kidnapping industry is thriving and expanding into previously safe areas. It poses a real threat to trade and education, as well as the country's farming communities. While these gangs have been operating in the Northwest for more than a decade, however, when they were infiltrated by militant groups in December last year, the abductions and violence escalated. The challenge is made harder by the country's ungoverned space areas that are remote and largely ignored, where groups can foment rural communities without fear of reprisal. Recent combined efforts by the Nigerian Armed Forces through a rapid response, surveillance, and air attacks by the Air Force and ground troops have disseminated the activities of the bandits in the forest in Katsina, Kaduna, Niger, and Zamfara states. We are, however, saddened by the negative reactions from some states in the region, which could undermine the efforts of the federal government in securing the nation. Communities neighboring forests who are paid for or willingly volunteer information to the bandits on the security agents' whereabouts are also not helping matters. Let me emphasize that state governments need to cooperate and work together with security agencies in dealing with the situation at hand. We have seen the benefits of this synergic engagement with security agencies. Through it, we are able to identify and destroy the central command of the dreaded terrorist group and dealt a blow to the operations in Kano State. Well, we are coming to that later on. The incidences of clashes between farmers and herders has also been one of the many security challenges facing the country in view of the scary, frightening, disgusting, disheartening, and damning problem they pose to the parties involved and the generality of Nigerians. The movement of Fulani nomads from the north to the southern part of the country and from other West African countries into Nigeria has over the years been posing many challenges. I think I need to expatiate on this because it's an issue that is worrying Nigerians. the movement of herdsmen from West African countries into Nigeria is worrisome, because once they enter Nigeria, they are regarded as citizens of Nigeria. They carry weapons, they carry drugs, and they fight along the route. And Nigeria is looking at this. This is a big ECOWAS issue. I think Nigeria should present a memo to ECOWAS in order to curtail the mass movement of herdsmen from one country to another. Because of climate change, things have changed. It used to be simple, but now due to climate change in some West African countries, they are bound to be in the northern part of Nigeria, down to the middle belt, and down to the southern part of this country. And along the routes, there are always problems. Also within Nigeria, the movement of herdsmen from one state to another is an issue that we should look into, because as I have been saying, the traditional system of rearing animals cannot take us anywhere. As I usually say, a herdsman has not succeeded in killing poverty, and poverty has not succeeded in killing a herdsman. What do I mean by that? A herdsman with hundreds of cattle is a mobile bank. You cannot call him a poor man. But somebody who is trekking from the northern part of this country to the middle belt, down to the south, looking at his shoes, looking at his body, looking at his dress, you can never describe him as a wealthy man. We must do something about this. One big question is that this traditional herdsmanship, is it for the purposes of tradition and history, or is it for the purposes of socio-economic development? This is the question that we must answer. If it is for socio-economic development, then we have to change the system. We must do a legislation that will prevent the movement of cattle from the northern part of this country to the southern part of this country, because it is creating a lot of conflict. And not only that, we are not also treating the herdsmen well, because this system does not allow their children to go to school. And eventually what is happening? It is an animal that is following another animal. Because somebody with no knowledge, somebody with no education, what do we expect him to do? He doesn't know anything. He's always in the forest. Even if it's for political reasons, they don't even register. They don't even vote. They don't even know the date of voting. So you can see the issues. So I hope the Nigerian government will examine the ECOWAS issue, will also examine the movement of cattle from one state to another. Let us practice the modern system. In Kano State, we have taken statistics of all the herdsmen in Kano, including their biodata, their children, whether they attend school or not. And we are in the process. We have already established a Ruga system whereby we are providing water, we're providing medication for the animals, we are providing houses for the herdsmen, markets for the herdsmen, grazing areas for the cattle, artificial insemination for the cows. In fact, we even sponsored 75 Fulani children to abroad where they were trained on artificial insemination. They are back and now practicing artificial insemination, not only in Kano State, but from all over the country. So eventually, we want all our herdsmen to be domesticated, to be in one place for the improvement of their life and also for the improvement of their cattle. Disagreements over the use of land and water, as well as grazing routes, have been worsened by climate change and the spread of the Sahara Desert, as herders move further south looking for pasture. Thousands of innocent people have been killed in clashes over limited resources. The outlawed separatist group called the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, has been clashing with security agents. IPOB wants a group of states in the southeast, mainly made up of people from the Igbo ethnic group, to break away and form the independent nation of Biafra. Recently, the sit-at-home protest ordered by IPOB in the southeast region has assumed a dangerous dimension. Not only has it disrupted the plans and movements of many citizens, it has seriously affected the economy of the region, with investment affected too. This is another area of concern. Unfortunately, those young men and women who are involved in such an action did not witness the civil war. That is why they cannot imagine how a civil war, no country can separate in peace. Separations are always in pieces, and they create history that you cannot forget. I hope the leaders, the governors in the Southeast will adopt a strategy so that they can take care of that problem. Otherwise, it is seriously affecting the socio-economic activities of the northeastern geopolitical zone of this country. Security challenges the Kano State experience. This is the issue. Kano is the most populous state in the federation, and yet it is the most peaceful. It is very difficult to compute demography, population with peace. All over the world, it is it's always very, very difficult. That's why you have challenges in mega cities. In Kano State, we have taken some serious steps. Kano State, to ensure the relative security of the state, we adopted some strategies, including technology, community policing, building strong synergy with the security operatives and related agencies, provision of rural settlements for the herdsmen, and development of security consciousness mindset among the population. Kano State government built new advanced command and control center with cutting-edge operational equipment, as well as advanced surveillance and communication system to both Department of State Security Services and the police. This gave the DSS and the police opportunity to have full monitoring capacity of our forest and metropolitan area of the state. If you could recall, our forests are meant for our ecosystem. But as of today, forests in Nigeria are beautiful cities for bandits. Why do we allow that? Unless if we are ready to liberate our forest from the activities of bandits, we shall continue to have kidnapping. We shall continue to have banditry. We shall continue to have mass killing. Kano State government has provided communication system without border, which permits them to communicate from anywhere in the world, and the best encryption system. In fact, from my office, from the office of the Commissioner of Police, from the office of DSS, you can monitor what is happening in Falgore Forest, day and night. We have cameras all over the forest. Even if a bird is flying, we can see it. All the vehicles, all the herdsmen that are in the forest, we can see them. And security operatives are always there, and they have a mobile camera, which they can see anywhere in the forest at any time. That's why Falgore Forest is a free forest. It's not home for bandits. I hope all other forests in Nigeria will be treated like that. Forest and metropolitan surveillance. It is important to know that mobile control room is used during the operations, which enable officers to have control of the forest area of their operations. The mini mobile control room assists in curtailing the ambush of personnel. You see, the idea of even ambushing security operators does not even arise if you use technology. You can easily see who is coming. From all angles, you can see. It's practical, it's possible, and it's going on now in Kano. Operational camera used during the field operations, which permits the officers to scan up to 3 kilometers. We have laid fiber optic cables all over a distance of 100 kilometers within Kano Metropolitan in order to assist surveillance with various cameras. We have another equipment, mobile criminal tracking system. The Kano State government equipped the DSS with a mobile criminal tracking system to assist the officers in tracking of all well-celebrated criminals, and in the only one in the country at the moment. All northern states are requesting for the services of this vehicle in their operational activities. Also, it is important for me to explain the use of this equipment. One of our malams was kidnapped with his 5 children in the forest between Katsina and Zamfara states, using the equipment. When the bandits telephoned, because he made a mistake, he said he is an advisor to the governor. Oh my God. Now the kidnappers knew that a great fortune has arrived. An advisor to the governor being kidnapped with his 5 children. After getting the call, the security went into action. They discovered the bandit communicated with his mother. They located through the system where the mother was. The mother was in Katsina city. They located the house. They arrested the woman, phoned the bandits, informing them that the mother was not kidnapped but arrested. And if they were ready to go by trade by barter, then the security was ready to release the mother. Eventually, they released the Malam and his 5 children. The mother was released, but eventually they were all captured. This is technology in action. Also, we have airport facial recognition system. Right in my office, I can see all the people that go through the airport in Kano State. The Kano State government secured Mala Aminu Kano International Airport with an advanced facial recognition system, which is provided to DSS Kano office for better security in the airport. The system is used in uploading watch list of criminals, and camera can identify the criminal on arrival for arrest. All DSS surveillance teams are properly equipped by Kano State government with mobile gadgets for both surveillance, tracking, and facial recognition system. Virtual private network solarization of divisional police officers across the state. All our divisional police offices are also equipped with a visual communication system. From the operation room, you can speak to the DPO. You can see the DPO. You can see his office. You can see his surrounding. You can see his town. So Kano State government solarizes and provides virtual private network and communication system to all divisional police officers in the state, which permit them to communicate with all divisions, command and control center, as well as patrol vehicles. We have achieved a 3-minute rapid response system, which can allow for response of security personnel within 3 minutes. Crime and Prevention Center. Kano State government has constructed and equipped Crime, Research and Prevention Center at Kano State Police Command with the aim of conducting academic quality research on terrorism, crime and public safety. The center is to collaborate with the State Minister of Justice in developing integrated numerical offenders identification system in order to have digital record of offenders for future use. Causes of Nigeria's insecurity. With the lingering security challenges, many parts of our daily life as citizens have been severely affected. The question now is, can there be security in our dear country? Let me say that the answer is in the affirmative. But the government at all levels have to do enough in confronting frontally the situation head on and dealing with it decisively. This can be achieved by taking a critical look at some of the major issues causing insecurity in the country today. This includes the lack of basic necessities by the people in Nigeria, has created a pool of frustrated people who are ignited easily by any event to be violent. We have the resources to provide for the needs of our people. We need to use our earnings to meet the needs of our people and to develop infrastructure as well as the economy. Failing to do this, the crime rate is bound to rise and the security of lives and properties cannot be guaranteed. No doubt, infrastructure is a substratum of our economy. A well-developed infrastructure is not only essential for attracting foreign investment, it is vital for the long-term growth and effectiveness of countries worldwide. Similarly, infrastructure inadequacies as well as inefficiencies in transport and logistics, such as roads, are major hindrances to economic development. That is why in Kano, we make infrastructure development one of our major priorities. Even activities of the Avengers were responsible for the epileptic power supply in the country, as well as the inability of some state governors to pay workers' salaries due to the slow revenue generated in the oil sector as a result of the attack on our pipelines. As a religious conflict is a major source of insecurity in Nigeria. It is a situation in which the relationship between members of one ethnic or religious group and another is characterized by lack of cordiality, mutual suspicion, fear of the unknown, creating a tendency towards violent confrontation. Frequent and persistent ethnic conflicts and religious clashes between the two dominant religions, that is Islam and Christianity, present the country with a major security challenge. We always strive hard to see that there is a religious harmony in Kano through the engagement of religious leaders through the interfaith dialogue platform. In addition to this, it has been my personal conviction that any member of the ethnic nationalities who chooses to stay in Kano should never be addressed as a non-indigenous. That has really paid in fostering unity in diversity in our dear state. We also appointed members of other ethnic nationalities as official advisors. Another major factor which has enhanced insecurity in Nigeria is the porous frontiers of the country, that is our borders, where individual governments are largely untracked. The porosity of Nigeria's borders has serious security implications for the country. Given the porous borders as well as the weak security system, weapons come easily into Nigeria from other countries. Small arms and light weapons proliferation and the availability of these weapons has enabled militant groups and criminal groups to have easy access to arms. Also, the porosity of the Nigerian borders has made it possible for an unwarranted influx of migrants from neighboring countries, such as the Republic of Niger, Chad, and the Republic of Benin. These migrants, which are mostly young men, are some of the perpetrators of crime in our country. The migration of jobless youth from rural areas to urban centers is also one of the causes of insecurity in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the countries in the world with very high rural-urban drift. Most urban areas in Nigeria have grown beyond their environmental carrying capacities and existing infrastructure, and this has resulted in increased poor quality of the living conditions in urban areas. Out of the frustration, these youths are drawn into crime. As a result of a high level of unemployment and poverty among Nigerians, especially the youth, they are adversely attracted to violent crime. Failure of successive administrations in Nigeria to address challenges of poverty, unemployment, inequitable distribution of wealth among the population is one of the major causes of insecurity in Nigeria. How to tackle insecurity in Nigeria? The formulation and effective implementation of policy and programs capable of addressing the root causes of insecurity in Nigeria is crucial, especially with regard to poverty, unemployment, environmental degradation, injustice, corruption, porous borders, and small arms proliferation. Therefore, efforts to tackle insecurity can only be effective if there is a robust combination of legislative and judicial interventions with government reforms that address some of the acute human security challenges confronting a vast majority of our population. The recent law branding kidnapping as an act of terrorism is a right step in the right direction. The menace of insecurity no doubt call for a new approach that will be founded on credible intelligence gathering. Government must not only continue to engage the security personnel, but it must also, more than ever before, recognize the need to devote more attention to security intelligence, capacity building to meet the global best practice standard in the acquisition of modern technology. There's also the need to modernize the security agencies with training, intelligence sharing, and advanced technology, logistics, motivation, and change of orientation. This effort will enhance the operational capabilities of the Nigerian security agencies by identifying avenues that would enable them to respond appropriately to internal security challenges and other threats. In addition, there should be a complete overhaul of the security institutions in the country to reflect international standards of best practices so as to preempt these security breaches. In particular, the failure of the intelligence services to contain the the recurring security breaches in the country is of great concern to Nigerians. There should be an institutionalized approach rather than the episodic and reactive response adopted by the government in the aftermath of attacks. The government at all levels should not compromise in enforcing the law. The judiciary ought to have at this stage in our development evolved time scales for cases. There ought to have been a time to determine a cause, time to close that case, and time to deliver judgment and pass sentences. In Nigeria, cases that border on insecurity have most often been compromised, that the law is no longer acting as a deterrent. Our law enforcement agencies must therefore be incorruptible and fair. To ensure all this, there must be incentives, good conditions of service, and social security. Ladies and gentlemen, I now move to the second part of the topic of my discussion. Challenges of nation building. As we move into the 21st century, in this age of globalization, the challenges of nation building should be a matter of concern to all of us. We need to reflect on our journey so far so we can do better in the future and leave a better legacy for future again. Nation building is about building a common sense of purpose, a sense of shared destiny, a collective imagination of belonging. Nation building is about building the tangible and intangible threads that hold a political entity together and gives it a sense of purpose. The challenges of nation building in Nigeria are attributable to the very faulty foundation laid by European colonial masters, purely done to actualize their interest and not for any genuine development of our dear country. The past legacies of colonial statute generate some experiments for nation building in Nigeria. Colonial rule divided Nigeria into North and South without much concern for the peculiarities of the two regions, which have different land tenure systems, local government administration, educational systems, and judicial systems. Under these conditions, it was easy for prejudice and fear to thrive. From this historical legacy, therefore, regionalism has been a major challenge to nation building in Nigeria. It should, however, be noted that the founding fathers of our nation tried to deal with this challenge by adopting federalism and advocating a policy of unity in diversity. Unfortunately, the lack of consolidation of Nigerian federalism around commonly shared values and positions means that this challenge of divisive historical legacy continues to undermine our efforts at national building. This could be seen in the division between indigenes and settlers, which has been a source of domestic tension and undermine our efforts at creating common nationhood. While we should learn from history so as not to repeat its mistakes, we must never see ourselves simply as victims of our history. It is our responsibility to overcome the challenges posed by our own history. Factors influencing leadership challenges. Leadership is a critical factor in nation building that has to do with personal qualities, integrity, honesty, commitment, and competence of individual leaders at the top, and the collective qualities of common vision, focus, and desire for development of the elites as a whole. That is why we must have a leadership that is committed to the rule of law and has a demonstrable cause of fair play and democratic tolerance, a leadership with ability and integrity. Another important aspect of nation building is the building of a common citizenship. This could prove to be difficult because of differences in opportunity. Not only are many of our citizens denied basic rights, such as the right to education and health, there's also serious variation in the enjoyment of these rights across the country. As a consequence, the citizen is not motivated to support the state and society because he or she does not feel that the society is adequately concerned about his or her welfare. A common nationhood cannot be achieved while citizens are living such parallel lives. Inequalities are a threat to a common citizenship. Even in those parts of the country that are relatively better off, the level of social provision and protection is still low by world standards. Poverty and nation building are strange bedfellows because a largely marginalized citizenry, increasingly crippled by poverty and the lack of basic needs, can hardly be expected to play its proper role in the development of the nation. Nations are built by healthy and skilled citizens. On grounds of both equity and efficiency, we need to promote the access of the bulk of the Nigerian population to basic education, health, and housing. Nigeria needs a social contract with its citizens as a basis for demanding their loyalty and support. Since its independence, Nigeria has been facing the challenge of crafting a constitutional arrangement that has the backing of an overwhelming majority of Nigerians. While we all agree that Nigeria must be a federation, we have no clear consensus on the nature of that federation, on whether we should have territorially defined states or ethnically defined states as some are demanding. We also do not have a consensus on the number of states or federating units we should have. While some are satisfied with the current 36 states, others are calling for more states for their own groups. Another constitutional challenge relates to the nature of our democracy. While most Nigerians support the principles of democracy, such as the forming of government based on the will of the majority, respect for the rule of law, and respect for basic freedoms of citizens, the fact remains that in practice, we have ended to have either military rule or defective civilian administration. I would like to end my presentation by reiterating that good governance is a panacea for the insecurity challenge in Nigeria. The war against insecurity would be won only by raising governance standards, by cultivating the culture of good governance, where the government is responsible and accountable to the people. Finally, security engagement cannot be separated from good governance. Thank you, and God bless. Okay, thank you.
Let's make the applause bigger. I mean, this is as good as, if not better than, an inaugural lecture. It's not loud enough, please. While I wait for our president to come up for the presentation of gifts to the guest speaker, I'd just like to mention one of two things that caught my attention. His Excellency said that he has a camera in his office that can see Balgore Forest, and any bird that flies, he can see it. Another applause for him. I also heard him say that he can note or see anyone who passes through the airport. Please, another round of applause. And I was asking the technology person by my side that, is it just in Kano? So I think the title of the lecture should actually have a colon, the Kano example.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We've really had a lot of information about Kano. I mentioned something earlier that Kano is the safest place in the country, and you have added to it by telling us much more than we could see when I was in Kano. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. On behalf of the University of Ibadan Alumni Association, I want to call on the Vice Chancellor of this university to join me in presenting this gift to our guest lecturer. A round of applause for him, please. Take this one off first. Okay. Easy. This is the uniform for Alumni Association. And maybe next time we come to Kano or you're coming down, we want to see you in Agbada with this uniform as an alumnus of the university. And another gift from the association, we're joining it to this one. You know, we have several yardage of that. So you can conveniently have Agbada as big as you want.
On behalf of the University of Ibadan, first, let me check. Is it up to 10 yards? Because it needed 12 yards. Otherwise, the Agbada will not be complete. And we want the Agbada to be flowing. On behalf of the university, on behalf of the governing council, on behalf of the Senate, congregation, staff, and students of the University of Ibadan, make this presentation to you. We know that there is nothing that we can give you in return of what you have offered us today. Thank you very much.
And another one. You can see the inscription. Yes, yes. The Emma.
Because he has
So what?
Standing for more than 1 hour.
I should call the Emma.
Yes. Okay. He's been standing for more than 1 hour.
Invite the Emma. Cannot soon.
Can we call the Emma? The Emma should be able to get something because that's the best speech. Just for 5 minutes.
And then you have to go and sit down. Okay.
Can we have the executives of the University of Ibadan Alumni Association quickly come up for, okay.
No, please, they should wait. The emir is coming.
Okay, the alumni, kindly hold on.
The emir.
I'd like to welcome His Excellency, the Emir of Kano, for his remarks. Please, let's make it big for His Royal Highness.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, my governor, one of the elder statesmen in this country, and chairman of the governing council of the premier university, other distinguished members here, the vice chancellor, members of the governors entourage that includes members of the National and State Assembly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here today at this important and significant event, which we understand takes place every 2 years. The choice of the lecture topic, Challenges of Insecurity and Nation Building, could not have been more apt due to the contemporary myriad security challenges confronting us as people. The choice of the lecturer in the person of my governor, His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, OFR, is in itself most appropriate due to a number of reasons. This, I believe, stem from the giant strides His Excellency the Governor and his government made in the prevailing security architecture in our state, which has worked so well to have yielded positive results, as said by His Excellency. Kano is relatively safe compared to many other states in the Northwest. That is why we are currently experiencing demographic increase as a result of many people from the troubled states taking refuge in Kano. This surge in itself, if not properly managed, could come with its peculiar problems. This particular issue should be part of our current discourse. In addressing our security challenges, it is incumbent on us to reflect and identify the causes of the present malaise and explore how we could have a good mix from what we had in the past and enrich it with what obtains in the modern dispensation. Our rich and functional traditional security system, from ward head to village head to district heads, should be purposefully revived as a time-tested security network as part of any new initiative. This will enhance any other measure that may be contemplated. Security is a sine qua non for nation building. I believe the guest lecturer has the competence, education, practical experience, wisdom, and clairvoyance to do justice to this topical issue. I believe in my governor I believe in what he said, and I believe he can take not only Kano, but Nigeria to the next level. I pray to Allah, the Almighty, to continue to help us to solve all the challenges confronting us for peace and progress of our society. I thank you for listening, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Highness. Can we give another applause for His Royal Highness? Without troubling our guest speaker, we would like him to give his response while seated. So we'll just bring the microphone to you for your response, sir.
Thank you, the Vice Chancellor and the Pro-Chancellor. We thank you for giving us this opportunity. After being away from the university for decades, it is indeed homecoming. As I told you earlier, I became nostalgic. I assure you, the program coming up tomorrow, launching an appeal fund for the construction of a theater in the Faculty of Medical Sciences. I saw the building, the drawing, and I'm already imagining the reality of that building. I assure you, we have good friends who are interested in whatever desire we show, and they are coming to our aid. We hope this project will not suffer the usual obstacles of implementation. You know, I read public administration, so I know obstacle along policy implementation. I know the variables that can come in and make the project not as expected. But I hope if we make funds available within the shortest time, starting from tomorrow, all the technical stuff that you will involve will have a clear mind that this is a project that will not suffer to be abandoned. We are not used abandoning projects in Kano State. Even those abandoned by previous administrations, we are able to complete them. So we thank you for giving us this opportunity. As a premier university, your contribution to national development in Nigeria cannot be enumerated. All what I say, you continue to take this university to higher levels, and only God will reward you. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I'd like to invite for the chairman's closing remarks, our chairman of council, His Excellency, Chief E.K. Odige Oyegun. I thought he was coming up. So we can, okay. All right. Please, let's applaud my employer.
Your Royal Highness, the Emir of Kano, first, it's the first time I'm setting eyes on you since you became Emir. And I want to take the opportunity to congratulate you not just to congratulate you, but to pray on behalf of everybody here and on behalf of the University of Ibadan that your tenure will be the one that stories will be told about for decades and decades to come. May God bless you. May God give you the wisdom and the courage, because leadership calls for courage, to discharge your responsibilities to your people. Secondly, I want to thank Governor Ganduje once again. I had the distinct pleasure of working with him for 4 solid years. A man of courage. He displayed it today in the kind of speech that he was made. There were absolutely no excuses. And when he described the Kano, what he has done in Kano, he later went on to say, to ask the question, what can we do? The insecurity situation in the nation. I thought he was going to end by one sentence, inviting everybody to come to Kano to learn. Because truth be said, Kano was one of the flash points in this nation for a very long time back. And until he's mentioned this situation now, I try to think, have I read the headlines about people being stabbed in Kano, being killed in Kano? I have not read any such gory details. So you have done something that the nation, your colleagues, have to learn from. I want to conclude by saying, even when you talked of nationhood, and even the emir mentioned that point, basically that there is need for us in that discourse to honestly face the issue of what type of federation do we require. Mark my words, I'm not saying confederation, because I'm a strong believer in a federation. So the earlier we engage in this debate and put it permanently behind us, so that all this group, like you mentioned, what do they call them in this iPod? We are hearing of another again in the Southwest. Thank God my state hasn't joined. Otherwise, these things will begin to germinate all over the nation, giving the whole world an atmosphere of permanent insecurity in this nation. But we know in our hearts that we are Nigerians and we want to remain Nigerians. So the earlier we address these issues, the better for the integrity of our nation. Governor Ganduje, I thank you once more for coming. I listened to when you used the talking drum, and it's a talking drum. So I will tell you what he said. And he said, God bless you all. And he looks forward to coming back to the University of Ibadan more times in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So it's time to invite Engineer Sarah Akintola, who is the chair for the Lecture Planning Committee, to come and offer the vote of thanks. Please let's put our hands together for the fabulous woman behind the lectures.
Good evening, everyone. Kindly permit me to stand, or rather lean on the existing protocol. Yeah, I feel very comfortable to say that my task this evening is very simple indeed. I am delighted to express gratitude to the guest lecturer, His Excellency, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, OFR, for an outstanding delivery on the topic, challenges of insecurity and nation building. Somebody added and said, Kano State as a case study. I want to adopt that. Despite his tight schedule, he has graced this event with his presence and in addition, educated us further. We are very grateful to you, sir. Today's event will have been completely impossible if not for the constant and consistent support offered by the management of the University of Ibadan, headed by our Vice Chancellor, Professor Kayode Adibowale. We are deeply grateful to you, sir, and all the principal officers. Thank you very much. May the university during your tenure continue to attain greater heights. To the special guests and very eminent dignitaries present here today, we want to say thank you so very much for gracing this occasion. To the members of the press, students, and staff alike, ladies and gentlemen, our gratitude knows no bounds. Thank you for gracing this occasion. Finally, to all the organizers of this event, particularly the alumni team, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much. Mungode, thank you, sir.
So we'll be rising shortly to take the anthems. But before we do, I just want to have one sentence in addition. His Excellency said it's practical, possible, and it's going on now in Kano. So I think our maxim from now should be practical, possible, going on. Then we'll put wherever we are, if His Excellency permits. So may we rise for the anthems, and after which the executives will come for the group photograph.
Self-reliance.
I'd like to share this information. Can we kindly be seated? Our guest speaker and the executives will come up for a group photograph. And if His Excellency and His Royal Highness will also want to join the group photograph, please, you come up. Then I think after that, we take the guests. Thank you. No,
much.